M0FXB, welcome back to the channel. What a lovely day. Today we're going to talk about using apps on Android or iOS and even your computer to communicate, whether it's licensed ham radio communications or hobby ham radio. So you can use Zello, for example, and you don't need to have a license. So has this been good for the hobby? Using the internet via an app to PTT or a PTT app with friends around the world? I think it has, for definite, because if it wasn't for Zello, I never would have purchased a hotspot, and it was a hotspot for DMR D-Star Fusion that eventually took me down the road of making videos to remember how to use all kinds of things. So for me, it's a big plus. And you can use these apps on your iPhone, on your Android phone, your Windows PC and Mac. So the first one I ever used was Zello and TeamSpeak, pretty much at the same time. So what happened a few years ago, I was told that you could buy this device. I think I watched a video by Lewis Ringway, but there was a few that had messaged me that had Bluetooth, looked like a walkie-talkie, that had Wi-Fi, and I could even go on my favorite apps like, you know, Chrome and Facebook and all those kind of things, so social media. And it was about £50 delivered. So I searched it out. It wasn't the T320, although that's the one that most people tend to use, the INRICO T320. It was actually a different make that I can't remember it. I think it was called the W5. Anyway, long time ago. And I downloaded that and I logged into TeamSpeak, which now you use the IRN.radio server. So you just download TeamSpeak, log in, click the little green plus at the bottom, and you can start using TeamSpeak. Otherwise, you go on Zello and you add the app and join the channels by G1YPQ, network radios 1 to 6, and you can start chatting with friends around the world. So then you think, well, if you're talking on an app like Zello, you're not going to use ham radio so much. But no, that was not the case, because what happened, it's quite shaded here, what happened was when I spoke to, and many of them were ham radio enthusiasts or people that were looking to take their license, what did they talk about? They talked about going on DMR and D-Star and Fusion, and they talked about the different radios they had, whether it was a Yaesu or a Kenwood or an ICOM, and even their Bofeng budget radios. And so what does that make you do? It gets you interested, gets you talking to people, and when you get interested, you start searching around. Oh, what was that they had? That didn't cost too much. That looked really good. I wouldn't mind having that. Next thing you know, you're buying more ham radios. So in those days, say I had 5 ham radios. After Zello, after about a year, I reckon I had 20, yeah? So it did not reduce my hobby. It did not reduce anything. It increased it. It made me have a lot more friends and a lot more equipment. Also, when I had a problem, if I had a problem with my antenna or my connections, with my equipment, with my setup, I needed advice. Well, I had hundreds of people that I could just turn on this device. They could hear my audio perfectly. I never ever felt bad about taking up, say, if I was on a repeater, a local repeater, or even a hotspot connected. I never ever felt bad because I wasn't thinking, oh, there's lots of people waiting to talk, because there was several channels, there was several different platforms I could go on. Also, after a while, you found that clever hams and clever hobbyists would start connecting their Android devices, their PCs, to these apps. There's Mazzy, she found a squirrel, a bit naughty. So next thing you know, we were listening to ham radio via the app, and the way that they would police it was they would put a password on, and until they verified that you had a ham radio license, you couldn't talk, you couldn't be heard. You could listen, but you couldn't talk. And you've got GB7AB, there's several apps on there now. So that really enhanced the hobby for me and made me learn a lot more. And then you've got the other flip side of the coin, which is where people say, well, because it's internet, it's not real radio, which it doesn't really make any real sense. That doesn't make any sense to me, saying any of that, because radio communication is talking to each other by putting radio waves into the sky and talking to another radio. Okay, well, even the internet, in that sort of journey, chances are part of its journey will be contacting via radio waves. So, you know, you've got the radio between the radio and a hotspot. I know that's not far, it's just in your room probably. Then you've got your radio to a repeater on a hill, which is then connected to the internet if you're using digital. And then you think, well, okay, well, when you're using your phone, well, chances are your phone, if you're on 4G, 5G, is going via radio waves. When it comes to the broadband link in your house, so you're using your Wi-Fi, yeah, I get that's probably mainly a wired connection. And I do get what real radio people are trying to say, but I don't see the point of it, because ultimately, whether you're talking on HF radio, it's quite sunny here now, or talking, you know, with the with good sunspot conditions for your, you know, 80-meter antenna, you're still just talking to people. Yeah, you're using equipment, technical, electrical equipment, to talk to people. So I don't really see a big difference. I don't see the positiveness of even saying to someone that's not real radio. To me, it's, you're just trying to pick a disagreement, because what's the end goal of it? What do you want that person to say when you say to them, well, that's not real radio, or you're not on real radio? Do you want them to go, okay, I'll turn it off now and pack it all away? What is the end goal of saying that to someone? You know, I don't see the positiveness of it. You know, the whole point of a hobby is to enjoy yourself. Generally, we do tend to need to learn if we've got a hobby, whether it's fishing, golf, radio. In a hobby, you need to learn, and the best way to learn is to talk to other hobbyists and read the instruction manual, I suppose. But nothing better than learning on YouTube, of course, massive. See, she's running away. It's beautiful here, southwest. I just thought I'd have that short chat about what you got, Maz? Just kick that for her. About Zello and network radios. Bye for now. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. If you're finding this interesting, please hit the like and subscribe. And if I've helped you, if I've saved you lots of time, then buy us a coffee. Why not? 7-3, all the best.